Okay, so it's time again for another Unpopular Opinions video. As usual, I put a little poll out on Twitter, and the unpopular opinion selection of the week is childhood. And so you're going to hear my opinion on that. Okay, before I get started, I want to say that I am not a psychologist. I am, however, a father. I am somebody who likes to dictate their lives based on common sense and what makes sense to them. So I'm going to just be sharing my opinion on that. But if our opinions differ, then whatever. Tell me in the comments, or don't, or like this or dislike this, whatever. Anyway, let's go straight into this and move on. Okay, first, I think I should preface this by explaining my thoughts on children as a subject in general. First off, I commonly refer to children as what I call potential people, which I think is very, very generous, because that's saying that the bulk of them have potential. Until the age of about 21, your brain is not fully developed. Your brain grows and grows as you go along. So at about the age of 11, you're able to grasp less concrete and more abstract thoughts. And this is, school plays on this. They give you the blocks and stuff to count with up until about the age of 11, in which case they start giving you concepts and theories and things like that, and you grow from there. It's said that who you are going to be for the rest of your life is pretty well established by the age of about 13. And then there's the monstrous, disgusting regression period of the teenage life. And during that time, you basically turn back into your 2-year-old self until your brain gets over that little hurdle. And it's the same basic thing. When you're 2 years old and when you're a teenager, you're doing basically the same thing. Your body is going through an insane amount of growth. You are conceptually changing, and so you turn into a kind of a new person. And so that's kind of a chrysalis stage. It's kind of like I said, it's a regression back to your toddler state, and that's why teenagers are so hard to get along with. Unfortunately, the insane part is society has dictated that it's okay to throw these toddlers the key to a car and let them go off and do their own thing. And that is nuts! So where am I going with all this? When I started out by explaining the potential people grow into real people, well, the potential people aren't living a real life. I like to think of it as a video game. When you start out in the tutorial phase of a video game, and you're not really playing the whole game yet. They're just kind of showing you the moves. They're just kind of showing you how the game works. And you get through that, and you find it a little bit annoying, but you understand that it doesn't really dictate what's going on for the rest of the game. It's just showing you how this stuff works. That is childhood. So, is teenage love deep and amazing and beautiful? Is their heartbreak a real heartbreak that that dictates so much of the rest of their lives? No. It's a little tiny sample of what real stuff feels like, of what real life is going to be like. And I like to, I actually have this conversation with my kids. When things get too heavy, I remind them, and they find comfort in this, and we have an open discussion about it, but I have an open discussion about it understanding their mental state, understanding their ability to comprehend certain things. So I discuss it on different levels with the different kids. But we talk about the explanation, and I think that this is a healthy thing to do, the explanation that this is just the trial phase. Let that stuff slide off of you. Don't worry too much about it and move on, because none of it is going to matter as an adult. I remember being a kid and thinking all of it was important. I also remember being a young adult and looking back on that and going, oh my God, I wish somebody had mentioned to me how obnoxious I was, because none of that was important. Not a second of my childhood had any bearing on real life for anybody, and had anybody told me what a knob I was being by acting as though I was a real person, I might have cooled off just a little bit and changed some of my behavior. Now I'm going to flip the script for a second and talk about adulthood. I have been told by several different people that in their family they stop doing birthdays and Christmas and things like that when you're an adult, and that stuff's just for the kids. And to those people, I have often said, you tell a teenager that and they are going to kill themselves. And the reason for that is, why I feel so deeply about that is because I feel like childhood should not be bad. Childhood should not be made to be miserable, but adulthood should be made to be better. Give these people, these potential people, these little ones, something to strive for. Don't tell them that at a certain point everything that they love is cut off and they become a mindless robot, and quit being mindless robots. Be better. Have more fun. Don't let go of your toys as a young child. Keep your toys. Play with them. Upgrade your toys to new things that excite you. Build a better life than the one that you had when you were a child, because childhood life sucks. And adult life should be better. It should be, we are moving in the wrong direction if we reminisce about what it was like to be a child and make adulthood a bad thing. No wonder teenagers don't feel like they have anything to look forward to when the example that we're setting is that childhood is the best, adulthood sucks, and you're right here in the middle, greasy and dripping and feeling hormonal and all of these different things. I mean, how did anybody survive that? And now, as far as childhood not being as good as adulthood, which should be the set standard, we should be making sure that adulthood is better. We also need to make the standard that children don't lead the household. Dr. Spock destroyed society, apologized for it afterwards, but it was too little too late, and people are still using his examples as the prime examples for how to raise children. And these children are narcissists. These children are obsessed with getting whatever they want. These children are monsters. And I'm talking about my generation. I'm talking about the generation preceding it. I am talking about the generation after it and the generation after that. We all have become a society of narcissistic monsters. I am telling you this on my YouTube channel where I show off, because we were never told to just shut up and go away as children. We refer back to the people who fought in World War II as the greatest generation, and yet we fail to even attempt to go back there because, oh no, well, they were raised on an archaic basis. They were great, great people who stood up for something, who fought for something, who believed in something, and grew to be powerful people and did wonderful things in their lifetimes. Sure, but their childhood sucked, and we won't do that to our children. Then your children won't grow up to be them. I mean, that's just the situation. Am I suggesting beating your children? No, I am not. Matter of fact, I don't beat my children. I don't hit my children, anything like that. I just simply make sure that they know that they are not my equal. They are certainly not my superior. I am their superior. We are not friends. We don't see eye to eye. And when one of them is coming to me to tell me the latest gossip about the other, I tell them that they have forgotten their station and they need to get back to it. Because I never, ever blur the lines. They don't think for a second that I am their equal in any way, and therefore I don't have to take disciplinary measures to put them back in line. They just stay in line. And you know what that also creates? Happier, healthier children. Because what they crave, they don't even understand what they crave because their conceptual learning isn't in place yet. They don't know that what they're craving is structure. What they're craving is somebody to tell them what to do all the time so that they feel safe and secure. So if you are letting your children lead your household, you are depriving them of their security. You are causing depression and anxiety, and you are abusing your children. You are neglecting your children if you are not a strict parent. I don't know if you can tell, but I get a little bit heated on the subject. This is because I actually have studied and studied and studied since I was little. What I wanted to be when I grew up was a parent. What I wanted to be when I was little was a parent, because I wanted to have the experience of crafting small minds and everything like that. And it's a beautiful thing. It's what I've aspired to be my whole life. So I've put a lot of thought into it and a lot of study. And of course, concepts have changed. I believe whenever I was 5, I said something along the lines of every day for dinner, we're going to eat jelly beans or some such nonsense like that. And I understand that things have changed within me, and that I might not have made all the same decisions when I was a child as I would now, but that's actually exactly what I'm saying. Don't let children make all of their decisions, because what that does is sets them up with a life of regret. The other thing that children will do is go into a state of panic, into a, maybe I don't want this, because their opinions are changing. You've got to guide them. Because children are dumb. If you're going to look around at today's children, if you're going to look around at the future generations and tell me that you're not frightened to know that they control your future, either I have to call bullshit or say that you are beyond help. But if you are going to look at them and tell me that you're concerned about the way they're being raised, and tell me that you're concerned about the future and about how these generations are taking place, but you yourself aren't willing to step up and make the changes that need to happen for the future generation, then again, you're beyond help. We, as adults, as the current people running the world, we have to decide what world our children grow up to be in. Because, yeah, maybe the children are the future, but we have to decide what kind of example we set, what kind of example we're going to have them grow up looking at, and who their children are going to be, and their children's children. And this hippy-dippy, be nice to the children, let them play because it all comes to an end here soon, is the cause of so many of the crises that we're living with today. And by the way, if you're trying to be friends with your kids, if you're trying to raise them to be your group of friends, then how sad does that make you? How about you go hang out with somebody your own age, mingle a little bit, get out in society and you know, join the crowd, and let your kids do the same with people their age in their station. Because ultimately you should have real friends and not children friends that are going to resent you for it later. And I know that if you've watched my videos on either one of my channels, you've probably seen me do some fun stuff with my kids on here. And it's not that I don't enjoy my kids. It's not that I don't have fun with them. Matter of fact, we have a lot of fun together. But they seek me out, not the other way around, because it's fun to hang out with your superior and feel like a big person, but it's not fun to feel like you're being forced to be the plaything of a needy adult. That doesn't work out in the long run. So they actually come and find me because I maintain that line, because I make sure that they know that we are not equals, that they are part of my household. I am their protector, I am their boss, but I am not one of the kids. And so they think it's a privilege. They feel like it's a privilege to come hang out and do something that the adults are doing. And that's the way it should be. The other side of that is that if they don't want to hang out with me on any given day, I call that a productive day in which I actually get some work done. Okay, and that's all I've got for you today. If you liked it, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button if you're interested in seeing more. Hit that subscribe button if you're interested in seeing less and you've already subscribed. Hit the notification button to stay on top of what's going on here. Go check out Dark Steel Knives. That's my other channel. And sometimes I do things like contests and stuff on there, but I announce them randomly. So you actually have to subscribe and hit that notification button to stay on top and know when those contests are. The last contest I did was one within like 20 minutes of me announcing it. That was a little ridiculous, but that's the way it goes. So if you want to stay on top of that, you got to stay on top of it. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for watching, and until next time.